The great crystal hall on Alvari Prime shone like a frozen star. Tall pillars of clear quartz caught the light from 100 floating orbs and threw rainbows across the floor. Thousands of Alvari stood in perfect rows. Their bodies were tall and thin, made of living crystal that glowed softly in blues and silvers. They did not move much. They did not need to. Every motion was planned, every word measured. At the center of the hall stood a wide platform. On it sat the elders of the Galactic Concord. Representatives from 50 species waited in silence. The air felt heavy with fear. Everyone knew why they were here. The swarm was coming. A black tide of insect-like machines and living horrors that ate worlds. No fleet had stopped them yet. No weapon had slowed them for long. The Alvari had called this meeting. They were the oldest and strongest in this part of the galaxy. Their ships were perfect. Their soldiers never missed. But even they could see the end coming. So, they did something they hated to do. They asked for help from everyone, even the new ones, even humans. The doors at the far end opened with a low hum. All eyes turned. The human delegation walked in. They did not march like the Alvari. They walked like people who had fought too many battles and slept too little. Their uniforms were dark gray, patched in places. Some wore heavy armor that clanked with each step. Others carried scars on their faces and hands. Colonel Reyes led them. He was old, with white hair cut short and a metal plate over one eye. Behind him came Sergeant Major Volkov, almost as wide as he was tall, his arms thick from years of lifting weapons heavier than most men. The rest were the best Earth had sent, veterans, killers, survivors. At the very back walked one more human, Private Elias Kane. 21 years old, 1 year out of training. No rank pins on his chest. No stories to tell. His rifle hung from his shoulder, like it still felt strange there. His helmet sat a little crooked because he had not learned how to make it sit right yet. His eyes were big and brown, moving from face to face. He looked small next to the others. He felt small too. The Alvari princess stood on a raised dais above the platform. Her name was Lyrael Voss. She was the heir to the crystal throne, 7 feet tall. Her skin was clear like glass, but light moved inside it like slow rivers. Thin lines of silver ran through her arms and neck. Her face had no mouth the way humans did. Instead, a smooth slit opened when she spoke. Her eyes were deep violet, sharp enough to cut. She watched the humans enter. She studied them the way a scientist studies bugs under light. First the colonel, then the sergeant major, then the others. Her gaze stopped on Elias last. It stayed there. The head elder of the Concord raised one long hand. The hall became completely quiet. "We face extinction," the elder said. His voice echoed like wind through caves. "The swarm grows faster than we can match. We need every ally. We need every strength. To seal this pact, we ask for a bond of trust." He paused. "One member from each new species must serve as ward to the Alvari court. A living symbol. A bridge between our ways and yours." Murmurs ran through the human group. They knew what this meant. One of them would go to Alvari Prime, live in the palace, eat their food, learn their rules, be watched every moment. It was not a punishment. It was worse. It was a leash made of honor. Colonel Reyes stepped forward. "My people are ready," he said in a rough voice. "I offer myself." The elder shook his head slowly. "The choice is not yours." All eyes turned to Lyrael. She stepped down from the dais. Her long legs moved without sound. The crystal floor rang softly under her feet, like distant bells. She stopped in front of the humans. The air around her felt colder. She looked at Colonel Reyes for a long moment, then at Sergeant Major Volkov. Then down the line. No one moved. No one breathed loud. Her finger rose, long, glowing, pointed straight at the back row. That one, she said. Her voice was clear and sharp, like glass breaking under pressure. Elias felt the air leave his lungs. He looked left, right. No one else was standing where her finger aimed. Him. A ripple of shock moved through the humans. Someone cursed under their breath. Colonel Reyes turned red. Princess, with respect. Lyral did not look at him. Her violet eyes stayed on Elias. I choose him, she said again. Elias swallowed. His mouth was dry. Me? The word came out small. The princess tilted her head. Light shifted inside her neck. You. Why? Colonel Reyes demanded. His voice was hard now. He is a private, green, untested. If you want a warrior— I do not want the strongest today, Lyral said. She spoke slowly, so every word landed like stone. I want the one who still believes. Elias blinked. Believes what? She stepped closer. Now he could see the tiny fractures of light inside her pupils. That the galaxy can be kind. That tomorrow can be better. That hope is not weakness. The hall was silent. Even the floating orbs seemed to dim. Elias felt every stare. Human, Alvari, alien. He wanted to disappear. He wanted to run. But his boots stayed glued to the floor. Colonel Reyes opened his mouth again. Lyral raised her hand. One motion. The colonel closed his mouth. She turned back to Elias. You will come with me. You will live in my court. You will stand at my side. You are mine now. Elias felt his heart hit his ribs hard. I don't understand. You will, she said. In time. She turned and walked back to the dais. The elders nodded once. The matter was decided. Guards appeared at Elias's sides. Tall Alvari, in silver armor. They did not grab him. They waited. Elias looked at his colonel. Reyes looked back. Anger, worry, something like pity. Go, Reyes said quietly. Make us proud, kid. Elias nodded. His throat hurt. He started walking. The guards walked with him, past the rows of crystal bodies, past the staring aliens, toward the princess. Lyral waited at the far door. She did not look back. She did not need to. Elias stepped through the doorway. The crystal hall disappeared behind him. Cool air brushed his face. Stars waited outside the viewports. He was alone now. Except for her. The youngest human warrior, claimed. The guards walked Elias through long corridors of glowing crystal. The walls pulsed softly with blue light, like slow heartbeats. His boots made dull thuds on the smooth floor. The Alvari guards made no sound at all. They were tall and silent, their armor shining like liquid silver. Elias kept his eyes forward. His hands felt cold, his stomach twisted. He wanted to ask questions, but his mouth stayed shut. What could he say? He was a private, not important, not special. Now he belonged to an alien princess. They reached a wide door made of black crystal. It slid open without touch. Inside was a huge room. A dome of clear crystal curved above them. Stars filled the sky outside. Bright points of light moved slowly. A ship. They were already on her flagship. The guards stopped at the door. One pointed inside. Enter. Elias stepped forward. The door closed behind him with a soft hiss. He was alone. Or so he thought. Lyral stood in the center of the room. She faced the stars. Her back was to him. Her long crystal form caught the starlight and broke it into tiny rainbows that danced across the floor. She did not turn right away. Elias stood still. He did not know what to do with his hands. He clasped them behind his back, like in training. After a long moment, she spoke. You are afraid. It was not a question. Elias swallowed. Yes, ma'am. She turned slowly. Her violet eyes found his. They seemed deeper now, like holes into another world. Do not call me ma'am. Call me Lyral. Or princess, if you must use titles. Okay, Lyral. She walked closer. Each step made small rings of light spread across the floor. She stopped, just out of arm's reach. She looked down at him. He had to tilt his head back to meet her eyes. You are smaller than I expected, she said. I'm average for a human my age. Small, she repeated. And young, very young. She reached out one long finger. She touched the side of his helmet. The touch was cool, like glass left in snow. Elias did not move. Why me? He asked. The words came out fast. There were better soldiers, stronger ones, older ones. Why pick the newest guy? Lyral pulled her hand back. She studied him like he was a strange rock she had found. My people choose keystone souls for the royal heir. The keystone must balance the heir. Most choose the strongest, the most proven, the one who will make the heir look powerful. She paused. I did not want power. I wanted something else. Elias waited. Your species is new to the stars, she said. You are loud. You are messy. You break rules. You feel too much. You hope too much. Even when logic says there is no hope. Now, he could see the tiny cracks of light moving inside her skin. I looked at your Colonel Reyes. His soul is hard stone, strong but fixed. Sergeant Volkov is iron, heavy, unbreakable, good for war, bad for change. She pointed one finger at his chest. You are still soft clay. You can be shaped. You still believe the impossible can happen. That is rare. Even among your kind, it fades with age. Elias frowned. You think I'm weak because I still have hope? No, she said. I think you are dangerous because of it. He blinked. Dangerous? To my enemies, and maybe to me. She turned and walked to a low table made of white crystal. On it sat a small circlet. It looked like a thin bracelet, clear with faint silver lines inside. Come here, she said. Elias walked over. His legs felt heavy. She picked up the circlet. This is the bond. It links our lives. My heart rate, my energy, yours. If one of us dies, the other will feel it. Deeply. Elias stared at it. Like a handcuff? No, like a promise. She took his left wrist. Her fingers were cool and strong. She slipped the circlet on. It felt cold at first, then warm. Then it tightened. Not painful, just snug. The silver lines inside glowed once, bright white, then faded. Elias felt something strange, a soft pull in his chest, like someone else was breathing with him. He looked up at her. What just happened? We are linked now, she said. You are my keystone. I am your guardian. You live in my court. You eat at my table. You stand at my side in every ceremony. You will learn our ways, and I will learn yours. Elias rubbed the circlet. It did not come off. What if I say no? You cannot, she said simply. The bond is made, but even if you could, would you? He thought about it. The swarm was coming. Earth was far away. His unit was going to fight. If he ran now, what would happen to them? To everyone? He looked at her. I don't want to die for nothing. You will not die for nothing, she said. You will die for everything, if it comes to that. Elias let out a short laugh. It sounded nervous. Great pep talk. Lyrael tilted her head. Pep talk? Never mind. She walked to the viewport. Stars moved past in slow streaks. The ship was already leaving Alvari Prime. You will have a room next to mine, she said. Clothes, food suited for humans, teachers to show you our history, weapons training if you wish it. I already know how to fight, Elias said. You know how humans fight, she answered. You will learn how we fight. Precise, perfect, no waste. Elias looked at his hands. And if the swarm comes here? Then you will stand with me, she said. And we will see if your hope is stronger than their hunger. For the first time, something like a smile moved across her smooth face. It was small, barely there, but it was real. You are mine now, Elias Kane, she said. Do not disappoint me. He met her eyes, his heart beat fast, not just from fear anymore. I'm not planning to, he said. She nodded once. Rest now. Tomorrow we begin. A hidden door opened in the wall. A smaller room waited. Bed, desk, window to the stars. Elias walked toward it. He stopped at the door. Lyral? She looked at him. Thank you, he said, for not picking someone else. Her violet eyes softened just a little. Do not thank me yet, she said. The hard part is coming. The door closed behind him. Elias sat on the bed. He stared at the circlet on his wrist. It glowed faintly when he moved. He was scared. He was far from home. He was claimed by an alien princess. But deep down, in a place he did not expect, he felt something new. A tiny spark. Not just fear, something like excitement. The youngest human warrior was no longer just a private. He was something more. And the galaxy was about to find out what. The alarms started soft, then grew loud. Red lights flashed across every wall of the flagship. A voice spoke in calm Alvari tones. Swarm incursion detected. All combat stations. Hive Fleet Vanguard entering outer perimeter. Engagement in 7 minutes. Elias woke instantly. He had been asleep for only a few hours. The bed in his small room was hard, the blanket thin. He sat up fast. His heart raced. The circlet on his wrist warmed suddenly, like someone else's fear mixing with his own. He pulled on his boots, grabbed his rifle. The standard-issue weapon felt heavier now. He ran into the main corridor. Alvari crew moved like machines. No panic, no shouts. They glided to their posts. Energy lances charged with quiet hums. Shields flickered on. Elias found Lyrael on the bridge. She stood at the center viewport. Stars outside were no longer calm. Black shapes moved against them. Thousands. Swarm drones. Small, fast, ugly things with too many legs and glowing red cores. She did not look at him when he arrived. They came early, she said. Our scouts were wrong. Elias stepped closer. How bad? Bad enough, she answered. Their vanguard outnumbers our forward screen 3-1. They adapt. We do not. On the tactical display, green Alvari icons blinked. Red swarm dots swarmed over them. Some green icons vanished. Elias felt the circlet pulse again. Her calm was cracking. He could feel it through the bond. A tiny tremor in her energy. What do I do? He asked. You stay here, she said. You are my keystone, not a soldier today. I'm a soldier every day, Elias said. His voice was steady. Let me help. Lyrael turned. Her violet eyes narrowed. You do not understand. Our doctrine forbids waste. Every move is calculated. You fight with chaos. Then let me bring chaos, he said. She studied him. The bridge crew watched in silence. A new alarm sounded. Closer. Boarding pods detected. Lower decks. Lyrael made a sharp gesture. Guards, with me. She started walking. Elias followed without asking. The guards did not stop him. They moved fast through the ship. Lifts dropped them to the lower levels. The corridors here were narrower. Pipes hissed. Lights flickered from battle damage. They reached a sealed bulkhead. On the other side, scratching sounds. Metal on metal. Then a loud bang. The door buckled inward. Lyrael raised her hand. A shield of hard light appeared in front of her. Prepare. The door exploded inward. Swarm breachers poured through. Big ones. Armored shells. claws like scythes, red eyes glowing. The Alvari guards fired first, precise beams, clean kills. 1 drone down, 2, 3. But more came. They climbed over their dead, adapted, angles changed. One guard's shield failed. A claw took his arm. Crystal shattered. He fell without a sound. Lyrael stepped forward. Her own energy lance formed in her hand. Long, thin, deadly. She cut through 2 drones in one motion. Perfect form. But the numbers kept growing. Elias saw it. The Alvari fought like artists. Beautiful, efficient. But the swarm did not care about beauty. It just kept coming. He moved without thinking. Grabbed a fallen energy lance from the floor. It was too long for him. Awkward. He held it anyway. A drone charged Lyrael from the side. She was busy with 2 others. Elias ran. He did not aim clean. He just thrust hard. The lance tip hit the drone's core. It exploded in sparks. The drone collapsed. Lyrael turned, saw him. Another drone leaped at her back. Elias dropped the lance, tackled the thing. They hit the wall. Its claws raked his armor. Pain burned across his shoulder. He punched its eye cluster. Once, twice. It screeched. He grabbed a jagged piece of metal from the floor and stabbed deep. The drone stopped moving. Elias stood up, breathing hard. Blood on his hands. Not all his. Lyrael stared at him. "You should not," she started. "I did," he said. More drones came. The guards were down to 3. Lyrael fought like lightning, but even she could not be everywhere. Elias picked up a dead guard's shield generator. It was cracked. Still worked. He activated it. A weak bubble of light appeared around him. He charged. He did not fight clean. He used the corridor walls, bounced off pipes, lured drones into each other. One fired acid. He ducked. The acid hit another drone. It melted. He screamed. Not words, just sound. Raw, angry, alive. A big breacher turned toward him. Elias ran straight at it. At the last second he slid under its legs, grabbed a grenade from a fallen guard, stuffed it into the joint where armor met flesh. Rolled away. The explosion shook the deck. The breacher fell apart. Lyrael cut down the last few. The corridor went quiet. Smoke, sparks, bodies. She walked to him. Her lance disappeared. She looked at the blood on his armor, the cut on his shoulder. "You bled for me," she said. Elias wiped his face. "Yeah, you were not supposed to fight, but I did." She reached out, touched the cut. Cool fingers. The pain eased a little, some kind of healing field. "Why?" she asked. "Because you are mine too," he said. "The bond goes both ways, right?" Her eyes flickered. Something new moved in them. Not just surprise, respect. The ship shook again. Bigger hits. The swarm was pressing harder. Lyrael looked toward the bridge direction. The battle continues. Elias picked up his rifle, checked the charge. "Then we keep going." She nodded once, slow. Guards followed what was left. On the bridge, the tactical display was worse. Half the forward ships gone. Swarm closing on the flagship. Lyrael stood at her station. "All batteries, focus fire on the Nexus clusters. Do not waste shots." Elias watched. The Alvari fired perfect volleys, many hits. But the swarm adapted again. Split, flanked, numbers won. A voice from comms. "Princess, recommend retreat to inner defense line." Lyrael said nothing for a moment. Then she looked at Elias. "Show me," she said. "Show you what?" "Why your kind survives." Elias stepped to a side console. He looked at the display, saw patterns the Alvari missed. The swarm had weak points, not in armor, in behavior. "They follow the Queen's signals," he said. "Disrupt one big nexus, the small ones panic for seconds." Lyrael tilted her head. "How do you know?" "I don't," he said. "But humans fight dirty. We guess. We try." Sometimes it works. He pointed. There, that cluster. It's the relay for this sector. Hit it with everything. Overload it. The bridge crew looked at Lirael. She nodded. Divert all power. Full barrage on that nexus. The ship roared. Beams lanced out. Not precise spread. Focused. All on one point. The nexus glowed bright, then cracked, then exploded in a chain reaction. Swarm drones froze, spun, crashed into each other. For 10 seconds, chaos. The Alvari ships pushed forward, cut deep. Elias watched. His shoulder hurt, his hands shook. Lirael stood beside him. You guessed, she said. And it worked, he answered. She looked at the display. Losses still high, but the line held. For now. She touched his arm. The circlet glowed softly between them. You are not what I expected, she said. Good, Elias said. I wasn't trying to be. The battle was not over, but something had changed. The princess no longer saw just a soft human boy. She saw a spark. And the spark was growing. The swarm did not stop. Even after the flagship's victory in the first clash, more hives poured in. Black clouds of drones filled the void around Alvari Prime. The capital world's outer shields glowed red from constant impacts. Ships burned. Silent explosions lit the dark like dying stars. Inside the flagship, days blurred into nights. Elias barely slept. The circlet on his wrist never cooled. It thrummed with Lirael's energy, steady at first, then faster, sharper. She felt the weight of the war. He felt it too. Lirael spent hours on the bridge. She gave orders in her calm, clear voice. Adjust shields here. Redirect power there. Every decision perfect. Every loss calculated. But the numbers kept getting worse. The Alvari fleet shrank. The swarm grew. One quiet moment she found Elias in the observation dome. He sat on the floor, back against the crystal wall, staring at the battle outside. His shoulder wound was bandaged. His armor showed new scratches. She stood over him. You should rest. I tried, he said. Kept seeing claws. Kept hearing the screams from the lower decks. She sat beside him. Strange for her. Alvari did not sit on floors, but she did. Her long legs folded gracefully. The elders have called for the ascension, she said. Elias looked at her. What's that? The ritual, when the heir becomes Empress Regent, full power unlocked, crystal harp fully awake. It is the only way to turn this war. He nodded slowly. Sounds important. It is everything, she said, but it must happen now. In the heart of the capital. In the grand spire. Elias frowned. The swarm is everywhere. How do we get there? We fight through, she answered. My ship will lead the final escort. You will come with me. He rubbed the circlet. I'm ready. She looked at him for a long time. The ritual demands the keystone stand untouched. No wounds, no changes. Pure. The council will demand you stay safe, far from danger. Elias gave a small laugh. They don't know me very well. No, she said. They do not. The next day the fleet made its desperate run. Alvari ships formed a spearhead, the flagship at the tip. They burned straight toward Alvari Prime. Swarm drones crashed against them like waves on rocks. Shields failed, hulls cracked, but they pushed. Elias stood on the bridge beside Lirael. He wore fresh armor. His rifle was charged. He did not speak much, just watched the display. Watched friends die in green flashes. They broke through the last line. The planet filled the viewport. Beautiful. Blue oceans. White crystal cities. The grand spire rose from the center like a needle of light. Shuttles launched. Lirael's personal craft led them. Elias sat across from her. Guards around them. Silent. Tense. The shuttle shook. Hits. Close misses. One engine flared and died. The pilot corrected without a word. They landed hard on the spire platform. Smoke rose around them. Alvari soldiers formed a line, energy lances ready. Lyral stepped out first. Elias followed. The ascension chamber waited inside. A huge round room, walls of living crystal, floor like clear ice. In the center stood a tall pedestal. On it a single glowing crystal heart, the source of royal power. Elders waited in a circle, their faces stern. They looked at Elias with cold eyes. "The keystone must remain untouched," one said. "He stands outside the circle." Lyral raised her hand. "No, he stands with me." Murmurs, shock. "He is human," another elder said. "His essence is chaos. It will corrupt the right." "He is my choice," Lyral said, her voice cut like glass. "He has bled for me. He has saved this ship. He stands with me." The elders looked at each other, then bowed. No choice. Elias followed. His boots felt loud on the crystal floor. She stepped onto the platform. Light rose around her. The crystal heart pulsed, bright, faster. "You must touch it with me," she said to Elias. "The bond will carry your strength into mine." Elias nodded. He stepped up. The light felt warm, like sunlight on skin. She placed one hand on the crystal. He placed his beside hers. The elders began to chant, low, steady, words in old Alvari. The room filled with sound. Then the swarm came. Alarms screamed. The spire shook. Outside, black shapes smashed against the shields. Breachers broke through walls. Drones poured into the lower levels. Soldiers fought, died. Inside the chamber, cracks appeared in the crystal walls. Swarm acid ate through. A hole opened. Drones rushed in. Guards moved to block them. Too slow. Too few. One drone leaped straight for Lyral. Elias moved first. The drone's claw hit his chest plate. Metal screamed. Pain exploded. He fell to his knees. Blood ran. Lyral's eyes widened. "Elias!" He pushed up, grabbed his rifle, fired. The drone's core burst. It dropped. More came. The elders shouted, "The right must finish. Pull him away." Lyral ignored them. She grabbed Elias's arm, pulled him close. "Bleed with me," she said. "Now." He looked at her. Blood dripped from his chest. His vision blurred, but he nodded. She pressed his bloody hand to the crystal heart, her own hand over his. The light exploded. Pain ripped through both of them, white-hot, endless. Elias screamed. Lyral's body shook. The circlet burned on his wrist. Something poured through the bond. Not just energy, emotion, human emotion, fear, rage, hope, stubborn refusal to die. All of it flooded into her. The crystal heart shattered. Pieces flew, then reformed. Brighter, harder, edges sharp like blades. Colors shifted. Blue and silver mixed with streaks of warm gold. Human gold. Lyral rose. Her body changed. Taller, stronger. Light moved faster inside her. Her eyes burned violet fire. She turned to the swarm. One gesture. A wave of pure force. Drones flew back, crashed into walls, shattered. She stepped forward. Each step cracked the floor. She raised both hands. Energy lanced out. Not precise beams. Wild, fierce, like human anger given form. Drones melted. Breachers exploded. The hole in the wall sealed with new crystal. Outside, the swarm faltered. Their signals scrambled. Their queen nexus felt the change. Fear rippled through the hive mind. Lyral looked down at Elias. He lay on the platform, breathing shallow, eyes half open. She knelt, lifted him gently, her touch cool. Healing light flowed from her into him. The wound closed. slowly. "You are still here," she said. He smiled weakly. "I'm not planning to disappoint." The elders stared, silent, awed. The rite was complete, but not the old way. A new way. Alvari perfection fused with human fire. Lyrael stood, held Elias in her arms like he weighed nothing. She looked at the elders. "The swarm ends today." She carried him to the viewport. Outside, her new power reached out. Alvari ships felt it. Their weapons grew stronger, their shields unbreakable. The battle turned. Elias watched through half-closed eyes, saw the swarm break, saw hives explode, saw the black tide retreat for the first time. He whispered, "We did it." Lyrael looked down at him. "No, you did." She pressed her forehead to his, cool crystal against warm skin. "You are no longer just my keystone," she said. "You are my strength." Elias closed his eyes, tired, hurt, but alive. The youngest human warrior had changed everything. And the war was not over. But now, the Alvari had a chance, because an alien princess had chosen him, and he had chosen to stay, not slowly, not with a long retreat. In one brutal hour, their hives shattered. The Queen Nexus at the heart of the main fleet cracked open like rotten fruit. Black ichor spilled into space. Drones spun in circles, blind and screaming in silent radio bursts. Then they died by the millions. Alvari ships pushed forward without mercy. Beams cut clean through the chaos. No waste, no hesitation. The new power in Lyrael flowed through every weapon, every shield. The galaxy watched. The war that had eaten worlds for years ended in a single afternoon. Alvari Prime still smoked in places. Crystal towers had cracks. Some districts were dark. But the capital stood. The people stood. And in the grand spire, the new Empress Regent stood taller than before. Lyrael Voss no longer looked only like Crystal Grace. Her form carried something extra. Sharp edges, warm gold streaks inside the blue and silver. Her eyes burned brighter. When she moved, the air around her felt alive, fierce, human, in a way no Alvari had ever been. Elias Kane lay in the medical chamber for 3 days. Machines hummed around him. Cool light repaired torn muscle and cracked bone. The circlet on his wrist stayed warm. It told him she was near, even when he could not see her. On the 4th day he woke. The room was quiet, soft blue glow. He sat up slowly. His chest ached, but he could breathe deep. He looked down. Scars crossed his skin in thin white lines, new ones to add to the old. The door opened. Lyrael stepped inside. She wore no armor now, only a simple robe of shifting crystal threads. She looked almost soft. Almost. She stopped at the foot of his bed. "You live," she said. Elias smiled. It hurt his face a little. "Told you I wouldn't disappoint." She tilted her head. "You nearly did." "Yeah, but nearly doesn't count." She walked closer, sat on the edge of the bed. Strange for her. Alvari did not sit so close to others. Not even heirs. Not even empresses. "You changed me," she said quietly. Elias looked at her. "You changed too. The crystal heart took your fire," she said. "Your refusal, your rage, your hope. It should have broken. Instead it grew stronger." He rubbed the circlet. I felt it, like someone poured gasoline on a match inside my head. She almost smiled. "Gasoline? Human thing. Makes fire bigger, faster." She nodded once. Then yes, gasoline. Silence for a moment. Outside the window, repair drones moved across the city. Lights came back on, one by one. "The elders are afraid of you now," she said. Elias raised an eyebrow. "Me? I'm just a private." "They see what happened. They see the new power. They see me kneel to carry you. They whisper that the balance is broken. Elias looked at her. Is it? No, she said. It is better. She stood, offered her hand. The Concord waits. He took her hand. Cool, strong. She helped him stand. His legs shook at first, then steadied. They walked together through the spire. Guards bowed, not just to her, to both of them. Elias felt strange. Eyes followed him, not with pity, with something else, respect, maybe fear. They entered the great hall, the same hall where it all began. Pillars still shone, but now cracks ran through some, scars from the swarm. The Concord sat in their circle, 50 species, humans among them. Colonel Reyes stood at the front. His metal eye gleamed. Sergeant Volkov beside him. Both looked older, tired, proud. Lyral stepped to the center platform. Elias stood at her side, not behind, not in front, beside. She spoke. Her voice carried through the hall like wind through crystal caves. The swarm is broken. Their hives burn. Their queens are silent. This victory belongs to all of us. But one choice made the difference. She turned to Elias. I chose the youngest human warrior, not the strongest, not the wisest, the one who still believed tomorrow could be better. Murmurs moved through the room. I was taught to choose power, certainty, control. I chose hope instead, and hope fought, hope bled, hope refused to die. She looked at the elders, then at the humans. Because of him, my crystal heart is no longer cold perfection. It is alive, it is fierce, it carries human fire, and that fire saved us all. Colonel Reyes stepped forward, his voice rough. Private Kane, front and center. Elias blinked, walked forward on unsteady legs. Reyes looked at him, really looked, then saluted, sharp, perfect. Earth thanks you, son. The human delegation cheered, loud, messy, alive. The sound bounced off crystal walls. Elias felt his throat tighten. He saluted back. Just did my job, sir. Reyes shook his head. You did more. Lyral spoke again. The bond remains. Elias Kane is my keystone, my consort, my equal in ways our laws never allowed before. Gasps, whispers. The elders looked shocked, but none spoke against her. She turned to Elias, knelt, one knee to the floor, unthinkable for an empress. Her head lowered until her forehead nearly touched his. The hall went silent. I will keep choosing you, she said. Every day the stars burn, every day we breathe. You were never merely claimed, you were chosen, and I choose you still. Elias stared. His heart beat hard. He reached out, touched her cheek, warm skin under cool crystal. So, am I still yours? He asked. She rose, looked down at him, violet eyes soft. You were never just mine, she said. We are each other's now. She took his hand, raised it high. The hall erupted. Alvari clapped, slow, precise. Humans cheered louder. Other species joined. The sound grew, filled the crystal dome, echoed out to the city. Outside, the stars kept shining, quiet, endless. Elias looked up at Lyral. I'm still just a kid from Earth, he said. She smiled, small, real. No, she answered. You are the spark that lit the galaxy. They stood together, hand in hand, human and Alvari, young and ancient, weak and strong, hope and power. The youngest human warrior had been claimed, but in claiming him, the alien princess had set him free, and together they had changed everything. The war was over, but their story was only beginning.